All right, next is the hype, the short-term rentals, the VRBO, the Airbnb, the home to go, all this kind of stuff. Now, Airbnbs, what we've found from our own experience, are super location specific. So you definitely want to be in a place where there's lots of stuff going on. So think of like arenas and universities and nightlife and activities and things like that. We have seen that if they're outside of that, typically they're not booked as often, and it's harder to get even like cleaners out there and stuff like that. So these are definitely more management. Typically, you can actually get higher cash flow than what you would on a a long-term rental, but they're more management, and you should have good systems in place. So for ours, we have it set up all through the Airbnb app. I like Airbnb for the reasons that you can kind of do everything remotely. So people do booking requests, you can just accept it, whatever. We have self-check-in at ours, so we basically give them a lockbox code, they check themselves in, and when they check out, they send a text to us, we just forward that straight to the cleaners go, they clean the units, they also go do all of the shopping and anything that it needs, so once or twice a year they'll have to go buy coffee or sheets or whatever it needs, right, and restock it. So that's how we run ours, and they can be pretty good. Now, typically, you probably don't want to run an Airbnb in the ghetto, unless you want tons of parties, people trashing it, whatever. Also, you want to be careful about really short-term stays too. So when we first started, we were doing kind of like 1 or 2 day stays. So not only was it a ton of turnover with a ton of like trying to, manage cleaners and stuff like this, but you get the people who are like, that looks like a good place to party, and that's how they treat the place, right? So what we found sort of success in for ourselves with ours in Edmonton anyways, is that we do 28-day minimums, so 4 weeks. So that also puts us on the side of what's considered a long-term lease. So then you don't actually have to get the City of Edmonton business license for short-term rentals. So there was that piece of it. And then also we found that people would end up actually staying for like 3, 4, 6. We even had one person stay for 19 months over COVID. In it, and we find that our gross income is about 50% higher than what we would get in a regular long-term rental. So although can be some vacancy with the 28 days, the other thing that's good about it is when they book for 28 days, that means the next available date is like at least a month out. So you have a month to fill that spot. So we find that we actually have very low vacancy because of that. We might only have 2 or 3 days like per quarter that are vacant because of it. The pros of this is there's no lease agreements typically, so you can do it all through the app. There's no damage deposits to worry about. If a tenant does cause major damage or whatever, you can submit a claim to Airbnb and they will just charge back the credit card. Typically higher cash flow can be done remotely, so I've been chilling at the beach or at Disney World, whatever, booking Airbnbs. It's been good. Sometimes you have time when you're in line for roller coasters and stuff to do stuff like this, so it's cool. The cons are it's a higher management and time commitment than a long-term rental for sure. Higher turnover, even with 28-day stays, we're still probably turning over, I'd say 4 or 5 times per year as opposed to a 1-year lease or something. It can be harder to actually get traditional financing on short-term rentals because they don't consider it the same type of income as a lease. So a good way to do it is to actually, if you are going to do short-term rentals, sign a lease with a company, so whether it's your company or a partner's company, that pays a set amount every single month as a long-term lease, and then they're the ones that run the Airbnb. So then that way they can use that lease and say, hey, I'm getting $1,200 a month for this, and the bank goes, okay, cool, and oh wow, it's a 2-year lease, and then the company is the one that actually runs the short-term rental business.